Ooh, what is going on, guys? Brando here, back with another video on Destiny 2, and today we'll be showcasing a solar hunter build using Lucky Pants. I'm just gonna test it out on this lost sector here. I've already used it a decent amount, and it's really good. It has good synergy with the seasonal mod. Most people with Lucky Pants, they run like Malfeasance, which I usually do. Now don't get me wrong, this build is more of a medium difficulty type build that uses the seasonal mods. So it works well in like dungeons, lower nightfalls. It's definitely not for like GMs. For GMs, I would still run Malfeasance because it's so strong. But all right, let's get into it. Pretty good range on the gun here. The gun I'm using is the best. It's the best solar hand cannon, mainly because of the rate of fire. It's a 180 RPM. Let's finish off this guy. 180s are the best, second best, like fastest for hand cannons, which is what you want for Lucky Pants. You want to be shooting fast, so you can, when you do the Lucky Pants setup, you want to get off all your rounds fast to reach max stacks. The only one that's faster is the Warden's hand cannon, which you get from it's a nightfall weapon. But this hand cannon has the same RPM as Malfeasance, which is really good. So it works out. Very good ad clear because of the seasonal mods. I thought I killed this guy. Guess not. Oh, the old barrier. Gotta watch out. So as you can see, you want to be smart when you use your healing grenade. It's kind of your backup healing source for Hunter. I rely on fire sprites for my healing. Or I just avoid cover and, play smart. Alright, let's use a rocket here. Oh! Yeah, better use the healing grenade now. Gotta watch out for that overload. He's somewhere around here. Alright. Probably gonna miss here. Shit. This damn thing always teleports. Alright, finish off the overload. And there you have it, guys. A nice, good synergy with the seasonal mod. Good damage. And let me get into the actual fragments and everything so you guys kind of know. Alright, so let's head out here. A 430-minute run, which is really good. Pretty good. This Lost Sector takes... It's a longer Lost Sector. But this time right here is... You know, with this build, there was no stress, really. You know, no deaths. And yeah, so if you're playing like that in a Legend Lost Sector, then you know the build is good. But again, where it's gonna lack is probably the high end. It could still work in GMs, but in GMs you probably want to go with Malfeasance. But this is like the in between build kind of thing. You know, you can use this in dungeons. Dungeons, it would work really well. Lower in, you know, Nightfalls. Alright, so let me find a safe spot here. Alright, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the subclass here. So this is kind of my choice. I like Blade Barrage. It's quick damage. It has a short cooldown, 735, and it works well for just basic damage, you know, boss phase, stuff like that. To kind of go with the theme of the build, you know, if you wanted to, you could go with Golden Gun, just because that's kind of the whole setup here with hand cannons and that Cade kind of build, hunter build. But yeah, choose Marksman. Don't do Deadshot, because it's better, more damage with Marksman. So either one, I'd say right here. Then we get into the class ability. I like to do dodging automatically reloads your weapon because it's the fastest cooldown, 29 seconds. And let me just explain why I choose that. You would think you'd want this one, the Gambler's Dodge, but I'm running 3 bombers. So when I use my class ability, it reduces my grenade cooldown. So that's kind of the biggest thing for the hunter is your grenade, because that's your main healing source, with the exception of this fragment right here. So I actually use I always save the grenade as a backup, kind of. But yeah, so that's why I run Marksman Dodge. Movement ability is kind of your choice. I like triple jump. Solar Melee, I still don't know if this is the one, you know, I want to use, but I chose it because it's the shorter cooldown. It's only 122, so I chose that because of this right here. Causing damage with your powered melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. So it all comes back to the healing grenade for survivability, just to make sure you don't die. But I probably could, you know, sacrifice a little time on the cooldown and get something stronger. But yeah, I'm just sticking with this one right now. So yeah, and then healing grenade, of course, definitely want to have that. And for aspects, it's going to be knock them down and on your mark. So I like to run knock them down. It's probably the more important aspect out of the two. Your solar supers are enhanced. So if you're using Golden Gun, it has damage resistance. Marksman Golden Gun has increased duration, and Blade Barrage launches more projectiles. So this benefits both supers. While Radiant Final Blows with your equipped throwing knife fully refund your melee energy. So that's not too bad. And then I'd like to use On Your Mark. It helps with reload speed. which is really good with the hand cannons. Some hand cannons can be slow. Luckily, the Trust already has a 50 base reload speed. Um, so that's actually not bad. But this on your mark makes it even better with a fast reload. Uh, so yeah, you can activate it immediately when you perform your dodge. Or precision final blows grant you and nearby allies increased weapon handling and reload speed for a short duration. Stacks 3 times. So I choose this because it gives three fragment slots. And then gunpowder gamble. I'm not really a fan of it, but it can be good for like some good little damage. But it's not the setup I'm going for. Um, Mainly because of the fragment slots that this one offers, and this one only gives 2. So there's that. So let's move on to the fragments. This is probably the most important one. Solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. So that's really good synergy when you're using solar weapons. You apply more scorch stacks. That's like a must. Ember of Ashes. Okay, here's another one that I think is a must. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. So remember, fire sprite can grant grenade energy. So that goes back to our healing grenades. Um, and we're getting melee energy from just defeating scorched targets in general. So we're getting melee energy, we're getting grenade energy when we pick up a fire sprite, and on top of that, because I'm running this one, picking up a fire sprite grants restoration. So it's another backup for restoration. And it also gives plus 10 resilience, which helps with, making it easier to get the stats that you want. And then I like to use Ember of Solace. Radiant and restoration effects applied to you have increased duration. Uh, to me, there's no substitutes of these fragments. I think it's the best synergy for the setup. So yeah, the important thing is you have to have an incandescent weapon, and literally this is the only solar hand cannon that is good. Like there's no other one. Uh, and this hand cannon, the only way to get it, you can't craft it. You have to farm it like the old way, farming weapons, and you have to farm Gambit. And the main thing that you want to get is incandescent. Um, you can search up on you're on Google or whatever and type in Destiny 2 Trust God Roll, and you'll see what it is. It's going to be hard because there's so many the perk pool of this gun is like insane. So like there is like I think the top one for the God Roll was getting like Outlaw. Basically, it helps reload speed, but that's not a major thing because with this build we're using uh, on your mark, which helps reload speed. This gun by default already has a decent reload speed, so that's kind of the main. So that's kind of whatever. Don't trip on this one. Uh, the main thing is incandescent. I like to run backup mag because my build is it's centered around Lucky Pants. So I want a high magazine just to make sure I get max stacks like damage wise. Um, but if I do drop it, it drops to 15. So even then, with 15, I believe I could get max stacks. But yeah, I prefer just to run the backup mag. But you could run minor spec because that's the main thing that this gun will be dealing with. It's kind of your choice. I got handling. Reload speed or range would have been nice, but it is what it is. Luckily, I got arrow break, so that helps with recoil. It's the best barrel for recoil. So I'm not sure how it would be if you get a bad barrel. You know, this gun could be a lot of recoil, but because that is important. Hand cannons, hand cannons some of them tend to have some like crazy recoil. I don't know if you guys ever used, I'm sure you've used the Sunshot. That gun has awful recoil. Like, I can't stand using that gun. But yeah, like to me, this is even better. This is better than Sunshot, and Sunshot's an exotic. So yeah, that's the main thing. So to get this gun, you gotta do Gambit, and you have to save your engrams and choose the trust and keep on rolling for it. It took me probably eight trusts I got, and I finally got it incandescent. So, but yeah, incandescent synergizes with the whole build and subclass. Um, so yeah, as far as the kinetic slot goes, I just run it based on if like I'm dealing with champions, then I like to use a primary for champions. Riptide is too slow to me for stunning if you have chill clip, but that's why like when you seen when it was overload a barrier, and that's why I was rocking Dragon's Breath for overload because of the seasonal mod. And then barrier I just threw on one of the sidearms that I have that's pretty good, the Buzzard. So this is kind of interchangeable with the kinetic slot, but this is always going to be in the build, and I think Dragon's Breath is like it's the top rocket launchers right now. So I would have these two always in the build. Yeah, so Dragon's Breath it's definitely S tier rocket. It's good for everything. So yeah, that's the weapons. If you guys want to hear, let me show you the artifact just for this season. So just some things so you know, like when we don't have this season, how the build will feel. So okay, here's the first thing that will affect it for this season. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch. So this honestly doesn't even matter. My gun already has Scorch. It has incandescent. So that doesn't really, that's whatever. But here's one right here. Rapid solar weapon hits and rapid solar final blows grant radiant. So yeah, that's kind of the ease to getting radiant. Normally I won't be getting radiant. So for me to get radiant, I would have to. This is like, let's say the seasonal wasn't going on. I would either have to do a precision hit with this knife to get radiant, which is that's not a smart thing. That's too don't want to rely on that. But basically the change that I would have to do is I would have to use acrobatics dodge. And that's honestly, compared to these other dodges, if you're really looking for damage, that could be an option, when the season is over. But I don't know, it depends how much you want that radiant, which radiant is a good damage buff. So if you do want that damage, then when the season is done, then you're gonna have to run acrobatics dodge, just so you guys know. Alright, so that covers that one. This one it really doesn't happen too often, but solar ability weakens champions. So that would be like if I did a knife trick on a champion. I don't even think I used a knife on the champions, but just so you guys know, it will weaken bosses and champions for a short duration. Okay, so here's the biggest one. This is Raise of Precision is really good. Because while I'm radiant, solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. So this is really good. This connects with this perk. So I'm basically getting easy radiant, and then I'm getting ignitions. So just so you get an idea. Basically, when the season is done, it'll be taking longer to see ignitions. So That's kind of the main thing. And yeah, so that's kind of the main things that affect solar in terms of solar. So let's let's get into the actual mods. Um, so just to give you a quick glance, the main thing is to have 100 discipline because the main survivability is the healing grenade, and then of course you want 100 resilience. After that, you know, you kind of want things as high as you can. I use a lot of different builds in different subclasses, so that's why my mobility is. I always like to have my mobility high. Like with other builds, I have like 100, you know, triple 100s, but with solar, with this setup, I not able to get it. But it's honestly not in solar. It's not as, you know, needed to have 100. Melee 2 helps obviously if I have that higher up. But the main thing, like I said, is resilience and your grenade. So that will give you an idea of why I, you know, do these for the stats. So head mods, heavy ammo finder, harmonic siphon, which for me it's rapid solar weapon final blows create an orb of power, and then gain bonus super energy on melee kills. That's just to help with your super. Okay, so your hands. So these are important ones right here. Causing damage to their power melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. So this is specifically geared towards getting back your healing grenade faster. And then I like increases reload speed for your solar weapons. So that goes back to helping reload speed for the trust. Alright, so I usually like to run max reserve ammo. This will help out the Dragon's Breath. So I'll be sitting at max ammo 12, which is a lot. Like when I finished that last sector, I had I think a couple shots left. So you can, it allows you to utilize it more for boss phases and you know, things like that. Then we go into the main part, the exotic Lucky Pants. If you guys aren't familiar, when you're ready, a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic damage or a damage type that matches your subclass. So you have to either have a kinetic damage one, like the Malfeasance, or you gotta make sure you match your subclass. So Trust is solar, and obviously I'm solar subclass. That matches it. Okay. Each hit from the hand cannon increases the damage of the next shot for a short time against a combatant. Hand cannons ready faster and are more accurate immediately after swapping to them. Provides a small benefit to the airborne effectiveness stat of hand cannons while the buff is active. So there's a lot going on there, but this is basically how it works. I'll just do a little demonstration. So right now I'm doing normal damage. Okay, once I switch, boom. Now it's illegally modded holster. So right there, I probably got like 3-4 stacks. You can't see because there's so many buffs in the bottom left that it takes out the damage buff. You can't see it. So that means when you see illegally modded holster, that means it's ready. Now when you see out of luck, that means that you can't get the buff. You have to wait. It's a pretty short cooldown. So boom. Now let's go back. Now I'm ready. I could get a damage stacks. Another way to do it too. So I'm out of luck. Another way to do it too is pop up your ghost. I don't like that way. I just like to switch. But you could pop up your ghost and trigger it too. So watch. Boom. Right. I can get damage stacks. Just so you guys know. So that's the whole idea of Lucky Pants. Let's get into the mods. again, we're back to grenade cooldown reduction when you pick up an orb. And then I don't like to stack it with another one just because it has diminishing returns. So I run absolution, reduces all ability cooldowns. And then I always like having a scavenger mod for my rocket. All right, and this is where I do 3 bombers. Reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So basically, never use your class ability when your grenade is not on cooldown. So you wanna have your healing nade, on cooldown, and then that's when you wanna, use your class ability. So never use your class ability when, it's not on cooldown. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Covered armor mods, the stats to look for, weapons. Oh, so here's another thing too. So you guys understand like the gameplay style of this build. So pretty much, you're using. You could start off the fight like this. Boom. Right. And then I'm just shooting, right? And then let's say I see a stronger opponent, I'm gonna go Lucky Pants, right? Boom. So I can take him out with more damage. That's kind of the idea. So what this does is it creates the build where you don't have to rely on special weapons to take out stronger targets sometimes. You don't have to rely on the ammo. So you're basically using your primary for the most part. And then when it comes like a boss fight, this also works well with, this setup. You can use it too in a boss fight. Because like I like to create builds that are also set up for, to also, to have like a good boss, damage. So basically that was the whole point, like trying to, using a legendary hand cannon, and the trust is really good to free up that exotic slot so I can use Dragon's Breath. So yeah, basically you have your rocket launcher's Dragon's Breath, and then here you can use a fusion rifle, and you swap it. Once you shoot your Dragon's Breath, do a couple fusion shots, like 3 or 4, and then you swap back to Dragon's Breath. And I can't demonstrate it right now, but basically if I shot an enemy and then I switch to the fusion, it will, because when this thing ignites, it will reload automatically for you. So I would have to shoot a target so you guys can see, but yeah, basically that's how it would work. And yeah, and also too, let's say you run out of fusion ammo, you could even throw in. It works well too as a swap using Lucky Pants too. So I could shoot a rocket, boom, and right now Lucky Pants would be triggered. So I would be doing pretty good damage there. As you can see too, I was using it in the Lost Sector. So like I would shoot a champion, and then I would follow it up. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. Like I said, this build is it's a really good build, but it's mainly for the stuff that doesn't have like crazy like GM type shit. You could use this in GM, but it wouldn't be ideal. You would obviously want to resort to Malfeasance. But yeah, this build will work well in raids. Like literally just this. I could have a setup for raids. For boss, I'd be ready to go for boss phases, you know, damage wise, good survivability, good ad clear, and you know, stuff like that. It's good for dungeons, good for you know, general nightfalls, stuff like that. It's just obviously you get into GM, and that's where it would you know, fall back. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just hit me up. But I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.